guys, how's it going? It's King, and I just want to say first off, thanks for you all being so patient on me not uploading in a while. I know it's been about 3 weeks since my last video, and the reason for that, if you all didn't know, was that my computer was actually broken, so I wasn't able to get on and do edits or any types of videos until it was fixed. But just recently it got repaired, so everything should be fine for now, and hopefully I can keep uploading once or twice a week like I normally was. And secondly, I just want to say thanks for 2,000 subscribers. It really means a lot that I've pretty much doubled my subscribers in about half the time. It's been about 4 months, so that's really awesome. If you want to suggest anything for 2K subscribers, like any videos or any more tutorials, put it in the comments or ask me on Skype if I could do a video, and I'll recommend it. I actually got this one requested a whole bunch, so I figured I had to do it. So for those of you who are only here for the tutorial, I'm going to get straight into that, go into After Effects, and what you're going to be learning today is pretty much these 4 color corrections right here, as well as a couple more techniques. So I'm going to be teaching guys a couple things along with just how to make this stuff. So we're going to go straight into the first color correction, which is right here, and I'm going to open up Magic Bullet Looks, which is a plugin that you really need if you want to make good color correction. So I recommend that you go and get this. It's really important. So other than that, everything's going to be in Magic Bullet Looks, so you don't really need to worry about getting anything else. And pretty much what you have right here is 2 different things that I'm going to be teaching you. You have color grading, which is this stuff right here. I'm just going to turn it off so you know what it looks like without it. So this is without color grading, and then this is with color grading. It's pretty much just making the colors on the clip look a lot nicer. And then secondly, we have our glow, which is these 2 things right here. And this is pretty much what it looks like without it, and then with it. I actually already have this one hidden, but I'm going to go into that later on the tutorial. So I'm going to start off with color grading, which is probably the most important thing. I'm not going to pull out all of the stuff again that I already have here, but this is pretty much all I use. If you go into tools and just kind of look for this stuff, like you can see color contrast is right here. I'm just going to start off with this. Hopefully this tutorial isn't too long because I'm going over a lot of stuff, but we're going to start off with color contrast, and pretty much it should be right here around this oranges part. And the reason for that is because if you see here, if you go further down in the orange, it pretty much makes the blues pop out more. So that's because blue is the opposite direction, so you can pretty much make this anything, but blue looks the best. And you know, just make the settings like this and just have it towards this orange area, towards the middle, because if you have it too much at the end, it's going to be really blue. So you have that. Color contrast adds a blue tint to it, looks really nice. And secondly is spot exposure, and you can pretty much imagine this as if it's a sun right here. So this would be the sun. It's making everything bright right here, and then it kind of fades off towards this area. And this is pretty much all you need for this. It's not too complicated. You have it off to the yellow a little bit, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference. You can see you could hardly tell anything there. So that's all you need for that. It's pretty much going to make your glow pop out more. And then next you have this net right here, and this is just going to make everything look a little bit more blurred out. You can see like the edges right here, they look a lot more blurred. It just makes it look a lot smoother and stuff, but it's optional. You don't really need it. Next up is saturation. This is also optional. You can see without it, it doesn't look as good, but it really just depends on the song that you have. This is pretty much how saturated it's going to be. If you have it at 0, it's just going to be black and white. And you just have it at like 66% or whatever, and have it towards this green area, because you can see if it's at the white, it's just going to be a lot brighter. So just put it towards the greens, and that's pretty much all you need for that. Then for this, it's curves. It's going to start out as a straight line. All you really need to do is make an S shape like this. So you move these 2, hold on, what is this? You move these 2 upwards, and then move this up a little bit, and then move these down a little bit. And pretty much this is going to make the whites whiter and the blacks or grays blacker. So this is really important. This and contrast are two of the most important things. So that's all you really need to know for that. Then this is auto shoulder. It's just going to make it so it's not as white. You can see right here, without it, everything looks really bright and stuff. Then with it, it kind of like tones it down a little bit. So that's pretty much all you need to know for color grading. Really important part in color corrections. You might have to adjust a couple things depending on your clip. You can see this is actually a PC recorded clip, so it's going to look different for console clips, but pretty much all you need to do if it doesn't look very good is usually you just need to change the curves or the contrast. But other than that, that's pretty much all you need to know for that. So pretty much this is what you have right now. So I'm going to go into the glows or the diffusion and flare. Diffusion is pretty much where the glow is coming from. So this is the most important thing if you want to make a nice colorful CC. So this is pretty much what I have. You could just take these settings. We're not really going to be moving these around too much. All that we care about right now is the color. So you can see this is pretty much a white glow, but I do have it moved towards the blues a little bit because this is just a color that I really like. So this is pretty basic. This is a standard color correction. You know, you have a really chill song, you want to use this. But I'm just going to go into the next one now because that's all we really need to know for this one. So the next one you see here is kind of like purple, and I'm just going to go into the looks. All this stuff is exactly the same, except actually something's wrong here. So yeah, we're just going to open up this one, and you can see everything's pretty much the same except for these two things right here. And the reason for that is if you go to this, I have a color wheel open right here. This is pretty much what you want to use to make nice colors, and I'm going to be going over a couple things in this. You can see this is what we're using right now. This is similar colors. So you can see in Magic Bullet Looks we have purple and blue, and these are similar colors on the color wheel. You can see blue right here, purple right here. So any ones that are next to each other would look nice for color correction. You can't really see the blue too much, but you know, if I turn it on right here, you can kind of tell the difference. So I'm going to go over haze flares because I didn't go over that in the last one since it was turned off. So pretty much you just want to have these settings right here, the spillage at 33. If the flares look too bright, like let's say there's a lot of white here, so the flares are actually pretty bright right now, you could just turn down the spillage and it's going to get rid of the flares a lot more. And you can just kind of change it to whatever the clip looks like. I figured this pretty much looks best for this clip right now. Maybe change it down to like 25 or something. I don't know. You can't really tell too much. But you can see right here I have it. It'll start off right here, I think, and then you kind of just move it towards the purples. And then diffusion, I just have it towards the blue color right here. And the settings are pretty much the same. And everything else here is the same. So you have this. And this is another thing you could do right here. It's kind of yellow and purple, so you can make like a pretty weird color correction, but I thought this looked really nice. And what we're doing right here, if we go back to our color wheel, we have complementary colors. So you can see yellow right here and purple right here, and that's pretty much what I did. If you want, you can pick different colors, like different complementary colors. Like right here, you see they're pretty much just across from each other on the color wheel. There's blue right here and orange right here. So if you want, you can kind of just change it. So there's orange and then there's blue. That looks pretty nice. Or you know, if you want, you could switch it the other way around. So you have orange right there and blue right there. But right now I'm just going to change it to yellow and purple because I thought that made the biggest difference. Everything else is the same like I said, and we're just going to exit out of this one and go on to our last color correction right here. And this one is probably the most simple of everything. I think I used this for Willie G's. It's pretty much just everything is just one color. So you have the diffusion being green, and then you have the flares being green. Or if you want, you could just take off the flares completely. And this is what I used for Solace. It was just orange, and that's all you really need to do for that. And then, you know, have the flares if you want. But other than that, this is pretty much all you need to know for the color corrections. A really important thing that you need to note is don't copy this color correction exactly. If you copy the whole thing like exactly how I have it right here, then it's gonna look really bad on some clips. For these ones, it looks fine, but let's say you have a clip that's completely dark, like there's no whites at all. Raid is a really good map because it has a lot of whites in the sky. But let's say you have a different type of map like Carrier, where everything's kind of dark. You might have to change the settings a little bit, like make the glow brighter or change the color contrast. But other than that, if you have any questions on your color correction, like why it's not looking like these, you could just message me on Skype or on Twitter, maybe in the comments. I'll read them, and you know, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them for you. But other than that, that's pretty much all you need to know for this tutorial. So thank you guys for watching this whole thing if you did, and suggest more tutorials. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the video. So I will see you guys later.